Welcome to the Heartfelt Healing Hub podcast. I am Deanne, your host, frequency intuitive and energetic healing guide, here to hold space for transformation through sound, energy, and sacred storytelling. You're listening to Healed and Whole Stories of Remembering, a special series where I sit with women who've walked through deep health challenges and emerged transformed. These are conversations that are sacred, heart to heart, soul to soul, filled with truth, resilience, and the power of coming home to yourself. May these conversations inspire your own inner healer to awaken. Let's begin.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast, Heartful Healing Hub. I have the great pleasure of sitting with Amber today. So we were just having some technical difficulties here. So let's start with the bio. Amber is the podcast host of The Woo with Amber and the woman behind The Intuitive Witch. She intuitively supports freedom-seeking women who feel heavy, stuck, or overwhelmed to move toward more ease, clarity, and trust. Through body talk, intuitive guidance, and energetic healing, she helps clients release what's keeping them stuck and reconnect with their truth. So they follow the path that feels aligned for them with more permission and self-trust. Welcome, Miss. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Much better now that it's all working.
Yeah, that was the universe is like, okay, girls, you need to have just like a little pause before we get into this. So I appreciate being here, and I appreciate this chance to just have a little chat.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just grateful that you're here and you've been patient with me while I figure everything out. So yes, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. The stage is yours, my dear. Whatever
you.
you feel intuitively led to speak.
Yeah. This timing, this technical issue gave me a chance to sit with what I want to share today. And what was coming through is the most epic love story of our life is the story of the love for ourselves. And I was just reflecting on my journey in terms of like the love story with myself and how I feel like maybe it's not all women, but I do feel like a lot of women, we kind of grow into an environment where we are really overgiving, and we stop forgetting that like the person that there's no other person in this world is going to take better care of us than us. There's nobody in this world that knows us better than us. And yet we quietly seem to push her to the side and like kind of push her to the back burner and give. Like I find as a mother, it's such an easy place to fall into because you so deeply love and care and want to like make sure you take such good care of your children. But in the process, I know for myself in my journey in becoming a mother, I stopped remembering that like I was supposed to be the center of my love story, and then my children were like a very close second, but still in that container. It makes me think of I used to go to a lady who did embodiment circles, and I absolutely love them. She's amazing. She still does them. It's just I don't need her to hold me the same way she did back then. Like back then I was deep in burnout and I definitely needed someone to hold me. Now I'm in this different place. But I remember she had this exercise where there was like this circle, where there was like dot in the middle and then like rings around it getting farther and further out. And she said energetically, like, I'd love if even your listeners right now were to just close their eyes and like see like the center circle and then circle moving out. And this is like your energy. And notice when you like close your eyes, let's do this together, Gian. Let's close our eyes and let's imagine ourselves. And where do you see yourself on the circle? Do you see yourself on the outer rings? Do you see yourself closer to the inner circle, or are you in the middle? What do you notice?
Well, personally, at right now, because I've been doing, quite a bit of work on myself for a long time, I'm like right center. But that's because it took a long time. But then I also don't have my kids anymore close by. So my youngest is, 29. So yes, but I've had a lot of years to look after me. But yes, so yes, I'm right smack in the center, but that's where I'm at in my life.
Which I love. Which is exactly where we should all, well, not should, I guess, but like energetically, it is very aligned for us to be in the center. So I love that that's where you found yourself. When I did this exercise the first time, like I was not in the middle. My children were in the middle.
Yeah.
And that is so common. And it's not right or wrong, but it definitely, when you put yourself in that situation where you're energetic, it doesn't even have you in the center. You're not even the main character in your love story anymore. It can really start to affect your energy, your capacity. Like you're the angry mom and you don't know why. Well, it's because you're not taking care of you. Like the I've been I'm very much about embodying what I what I preach, and over the last, I guess it's been like burnout hit me. Probably the deepest I was in my burnout was 2021, 2022. So I'm moving through that. But part that has moved me through that is putting myself back into the center of that bullseye, putting me back into the center of what do I need first? And it's can be such simple things like having the permission to be like, I'm not doing bedtime and I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to watch a show and I'm going to run a bath and I'm going to not care about time. I'm not going to be on to answer the calls. Like I'm going to allow dad to do all that. And I'm going to give myself this space because it feels like I'm getting away with murder by not just being present for bedtime, yet it's so needed. And the more that I've been creating space for put me back in the center, the more it has allowed me to show up in such a different way as a mom. Like I the other day had like the most amazing little morning with my son. We biked to the school and then we played at the playground and then we biked home. And like that is like, it sounds so nice, but the level of presence that I was able to give him and the level of like he ate it up and he immediately did not want to leave, wanted to do it again because like mom was really present. And why was mom really present? Because the day before I had given myself the time to decompress, the time to be with myself, the time to like, so often as women, like we're always trying to, it's almost like justify our existence by how much we have done and what we have accomplished. Yet me being able to watch a show and have a super long bath and just listen to my heart and like set some boundaries on what I need. It gave me the ability to have so much more presence with him the next day. So it actually allowed me to be the mom that I'm wanting to be, but it comes with some boundaries that I've been setting on like, but I also need some containers where I'm in the center of my energy.
No, that's amazing that your level of wisdom and maturity as a woman and a mother, you are allowing that for yourself, because there's unfortunately society, and especially here in North America, it's basically, children first, and you're basically last on the list, and that's what we're being taught, and that's what is expected, and if you don't do that, you're almost viewed as being selfish. So it's like, no, if my cup is not filled, how on earth am I supposed to give to everybody else, right?
Yeah, your puppy's agreeing. Puppy's like, yeah.
I know. Yep.
Feeling it.
He totally agrees.
Yeah, and it is so true, and it is interesting how so many of us, we have the, like, I remember I co-authored a book, and one of the ladies in the co-author group was talking about a pyramid, and where she's like, a lot of us, the pyramid, like, we should be at the top of the pyramid, like, set ourselves up for the day, and then that trickles down into the rest of our lives. But a lot of us, we're at the bottom of the pyramid, and we're like, well, once I get the dishes done, once I do the laundry, once my kids are off to school, once my kids are off to bed, whatever, there's like all these once, then I can have this. And it takes a real shift, and sometimes it has to like even come like from a deeper place, um, but a real shift to be able to put yourself at the top and be like, no, like, I see all this laundry, but I know right now actually what I need more than laundry getting done is actually to go for a walk and go to the park, and then I'm going to come back with more energy and more capacity. I remember there was one day I was with my kids, and they wanted me to help them like draw on the windows, and they wanted to do all these things. I was like, no, mom actually really wants to do some yin yoga right now. Like, you guys can do this by yourself. Like, mom's going to do this for herself. And I did the yin yoga practice. And after the yin yoga practice, I felt like so empowered. I think partly because I set the boundary with my kids, and it's like such a silly thing. It's like the little things that add up, just being like, no, you guys can like color, because they had these like markers for the windows. You can color in the windows. You don't need mom's help. You got this. And I did the yin yoga. And then afterwards, I felt so good in my body. And I was able to not only then be more present with them, I tackled things in my house that had been sitting there just like, I didn't have the energy to tackle them, but all of a sudden, having given myself that space for myself, all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, then I feel really good. So it feels easier to go do those tasks. It fuels you in a different way, because we all have those, like, you need like laundry and dishes. Those are all parts of living, and whether or not you even have kids, those parts still live on for all of us, are like ways to like just daily maintenance. But as a mom, for sure, and I know you can 100% understand this, you have had so many children and you were in that for such a long time, is if you are like, your cup is empty, your cup is like um, depleted, you can still do the things you need to do, but the energy behind it's so heavy, the like making yourself do it is so much more challenging, and it brings out this like how I see it is like, there's the little girl inside of you that's like, we're all meant to be more playful and joyful and like doing the things we enjoy. And when all you give her is the next task, the next task, the next task, like I see this in my son all the time. He's like, if you don't make it fun, I'm not doing it, mom. And realistically, we all have that inside of us. If you don't make it fun, I don't want to do it. But we have conditioned ourselves to just blow past that. But there's like even adding music that you really love to doing the dishes, all of a sudden it creates a different atmosphere. Or listening to a podcast you love while you're doing laundry, it creates a different atmosphere. But then also just having the boldness to be like, actually, I'm going to not do the dishes right now, and I'm gonna ask my heart what she needs. And I'm gonna ask her, like, maybe she wants to, like, sometimes my heart, my inner little girl wants to scribble and scribble some pictures, and it feels good and it's supportive. Yeah, the puppy's like, yes. So there's really a permission that, yeah, I just want to give us for that like epic love story for ourselves, because we know 100% deep down, when we like push away all the obligations, all the like shoulds, all the judgment, deep down in our hearts, we know exactly what is in alignment for us. And sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes it's like, okay, I actually like like sitting down and, like I said, scribbling a picture with my pastel colors, like that doesn't move the needle forward. That doesn't have like a totalitarian like utility, like let's get something done kind of energy, but it actually is so important to fueling you. And that's where my burnout happened. I started to strip away all the things, like my heart, I can feel this in my heart right now as I think about this, I stripped away all the ways I received and gave to myself until all I was doing was just going to my job. I was tending to my children, and I was so depleted, so exhausted. And in my journey of coming through the other side of my burnout, it was listen to your heart, because it's actually not even rest that sometimes we need, where we feel exhausted, but we're exhausted not because we maybe need a nap. We're exhausted because we actually need something that fuels us up and ignites us and feels playful. And that was a really big stepping stone in me moving through my burnout, was asking my heart, asking my intuition, asking myself, like, what do I need today? Because I remember there was one day I was like, I need a nap. I'm so exhausted. I need a nap. I didn't sleep good last night. I didn't sleep good the night before. I'm exhausted. But I had a coach at the time, and she said, well, why don't you actually ask your heart what you need? Because I wonder if it's not actually another nap. And it was to pull cards. So I pulled cards that day, beautiful cards, pulling them. And all of a sudden I felt like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. That was actually exactly what I needed, and started me on this journey of one that I was already on that journey a bit, but like sometimes it doesn't have to make logical sense. Like logical sense is you're tired, you have a nap. But actually it's more like, if you're tired, you're probably not feeding your soul. You're probably not feeding your heart. You are not in the center of your bullseye. You are not prioritizing yourself and your love story. Like, you think about, how do you want, like, if this is an epic romance love story, how would you want that person who's deeply in love with you as the main character to treat you? And that person, that first person is you, is where it all starts. And like, Deanne, I think about when, in even your story, where you put yourself in the center with your diagnosis, you went from like putting things on the back burner to like, no, like, I really matter. I'm making it through this, and I'm going to put myself in the center of my energetic circle again.
You're absolutely right. I had no choice, actually. I had to put myself first, and that was my first lesson 30 years ago now, that if I don't look after me first, even though I had 5 kids at the time, it's like there's nothing, I'm not going to be here, and there's nothing that I can do or say, or I can't be here for my kids. So yes, it is important to be the one in that center. And yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no, and like this message right now, or like, so my wake up call was burnout. Yours was your diagnosis. It's an interesting journey, and I really love supporting people to be able to not have to go to those extreme wake up calls before we start to shift and make those bold changes. But definitely for me, I don't know about you, but you're on this path that feels comfortable, and it feels like the right path, because it's the like expected path and what you've seen other people do. And so we assume that we should be able to do it well, and it should feel good, and like, if we do XYZ, we're going to get the payoff, and the assumption is a good feeling is going to come from that. And I think a lot of us, we do X, Y, and Z, and we're in it, and we're like, but I actually don't, like, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel like me. I feel like I'm losing myself. And so then it's, yeah, like, I really like to help people to get to that place where you can take the scary steps, because the reason we all stay on the path that doesn't feel good, that feels heavy, that feels overwhelming, that feels like you can't take a breath, that leads to burnout, that leads to a diagnosis that isn't what anyone wants to hear. But then all of a sudden, that fear of staying on this path, like for you, it got way super, 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 super scary. You're like, okay, no, like, I need to change. And even with the burnout, like, I was reading like, I could just feel myself like slowly losing myself. And I was like, I really believe in, like, when you're not listening, the body amps up with like dis-ease, diseases, like ways to try to get your attention, trying to process it for you. And so I was like, oh my goodness, like I feel like I'm like the next thing I'm going to have is like a cancer diagnosis. So I need to really wake up and like, this is not okay. I need to take, as terrifying as it was to quit my 9 to 5, as terrifying as it was to take a stand with my self-care in a very different way, because everyone has gotten used to how you were and how you showed up for them, and it was working for them. And of course it was working for them because you were giving endlessly, even if it made you grumpy and probably most of the time not a lot of fun to be around. They still, it was what they knew from you. So when you start to shake it up, I find there's definitely always that like that resistance, that uncomfortableness. And either you need like so much fear with like, this path I know is like going to kill me, or this is like, this path just really isn't working, to like have you push against what you come to, the cage you put yourself in. Or having this where I love to come in and be that container instead and hold you as your fears are like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I can do this. And I can be like, no, I've been through this. I know you can. And like, we're going to connect to your intuitive self, your higher self, and you're going to have that permission, because that my intuition has been the permission for me, the anchor that I keep coming back to, that even though I'm doing things that feel like I'm hurting other people, or I'm not, because I'm not showing up the way they were used to me showing up before, but the better I feel all the time. Like even silly things like my nails are growing in like stronger, because like my soul, like anything hard in our body represents our soul. So like my nails are growing in stronger because my soul is feeling more nourished as I keep taking these scary steps and challenging the way that I showed up before. And yeah, having people be grieving, because they're grieving the version of me that I was, but also really loving the pockets of the way I show up differently with my kids. Like I said, that like park experience with my son, or even my daughter, we went for like this bike tour, and again I was able to be so much more present because I've been giving myself, because I could go through and do this exact same thing. I could take my son to the park and ignore him because I'm overstimulated and I'm exhausted, and I'm just going to like stare into the distance, and he'll be like, Mom, come play with me. And I'm like, I like, you can't, I don't say it out loud, but I'm like, I don't have capacity for that. I haven't given myself anything, so I can't really give you anything except for like be here but not be present. And so yes, to anyone that listens to this conversation today, I just hope that just one baby step in terms of like challenging what you believe is kind of like what you're always going to be in. Like I remember like burnout partly happened because I felt trapped. Like I felt like there wasn't an option, and there is another option. There was another option. It was an option that felt scary and felt like a real upheaval or burning down of my life. And as I've taken the shifts and made the changes, like like I said, there's been grief and emotions, and like emotions in myself as well, because it's scary to choose myself in a way that I've never chose myself before. But knowing, like having my intuition support that, I definitely still have people that I go to help me ground into it as well, like coaches or sessions. And then, yeah, just noticing, like I said, the shifts in me, the energy, the presence, the like what I'm bringing to the table as a person, as a mom, and how much better I feel. Like I know that as uncomfortable as all of this unfolding is, it's exactly where I'm meant to be. And it feels like freedom. It feels like I'm expanding. It feels like I wouldn't have been having this conversation with Deanne a year ago, even. Like the shifts keep expanding me into like a more expansive place where I just, yeah, I have capacity for more, and it feels good and it lights me up. And then I show up in a different way as a mom, and then that feels amazing because now I'm not the angry mom. I get to be the fun mom. And yes, there's sadness when like, but I want mom for bedtime, or I want mom for, but holding those boundaries there allows me to show up in such a there and present versus just I was there all the time.
Yeah.
But I was hardly present. I didn't giving it to myself.
Yeah. What's beautiful about, there's a few things, the few ideas that the thoughts that came into my mind when when you were talking, contracting and expanding. So usually when we're feeling contracted is because it's not what we're meant to do, or what it doesn't feel right. So when we feel expanding and we're feeling joy, this is when it's like our inner voice, our inner intuition, our soul is saying, yes, more of this, please. And then I was thinking also, when your kids, as they get older and they see that, yes, right now I don't have, I need this space. And then they see that, okay, if we give mom the space that she needs, and the time that she needs, then she's more present for us later. Then, that gets them thinking, okay, so it's okay, go have your time. And then you'll be more present for me, in a little bit. And as they get older, I mean, when they're little, they don't really understand. But as they get older, they do realize, okay, mom needs her time to fill her cup, and then she can be with us. So yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and I take it even one step further. Like, it's giving my kids permission when they're adults to not repeat this overgiving cycle. Instead,
Yeah.
like, for them to know that it's safe, because I think that's everything. It's like, whenever it's new and you don't have an example of like this happening before, there's like that lack of safety. Like, I had this thought with like a cut on your hand. Like, everyone knows it's gonna be fine. Your skin knows how to heal itself. Like, we don't sweat it as adults when it happens to our kids. We don't sweat it with them, so they don't sweat it. Everyone is just like, it's all good. We're all good. But when it's something new, we don't have examples, if we sweat it because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't have that trust yet. But
Yeah.
on the flip side, that's where it's like, again, I love that the contraction versus expansion. Like, when it feels expanding and good, like, that is your intuition, that's your heart, like, leading you towards what is meant for you, even if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then that contraction piece, I feel like it's our minds come up with these these stories, these ideas of like, you need to do it a certain way, you need to do it this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes you feel that contraction. I have a friend, Lorna Stell, who says her inner voice, like her intuition, told her once, like, if it doesn't feel good, it's not true. And I was like, wow, that's like powerful. But I really do believe, like, even for you, they're like, you're not going to make it. I can't remember. Was it 5 years they gave you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that didn't feel good. And you're like, that's not true. And then you're like, nah.
Who wants to be given a prognosis of 5 years left of your life? It's like, no, thank you.
Yeah, that didn't feel good, so that's not true. So I'm going to go find what the truth is. And you did, in like such an amazing way. And especially, like, I think about for you at that time, like, internet wasn't like so readily available where there's like, you could go anywhere and learn about anything. Like, you really would have been guided to exactly where you needed to be in such a meaningful way. Like, I just feel like your story is so powerful for that trust. And like, you're such a living example of what happens when you put yourself in the middle of the circle, and what happens when you trust what feels expansive, and don't trust what doesn't feel good, and be like, why would I want that to be true? No, that sounds awful. Let's pick. I'm going to do a new plan. Thank you, but no thanks.
Yeah. And the beauty of this too, what I've learned along the way as well, and it keeps showing up, and there's still to this day, I'm like, well, should I do this? Should I do that? But when you decide, when you're moving forward and you say, okay, I'm doing this, and this is when you make the decision and you actually move forward, the universe will always show up and say, oh, there you go. She's decided. So here's this and here's that. And it's like, yeah.
Have you told your story yet? Have your listeners heard the story of you with the moving to the island?
No, I haven't.
You should say that, and then maybe all
right.
Yeah.
Well, just to explain what I'm talking about, because this is a very recent event that um, about a month ago now, I decided, like, at the beginning of the year, I wanted to move back to where most of my kids are closest. I wanted to be closer to my kids. So my kids all live on Vancouver Island. So at the beginning of the year, I decided I wanted to move back. About a month ago, I gave my 2 weeks notice on Friday at my job, and I had no idea where it was going to go. It was just like, okay, I'm giving my 2 weeks notice. I might have to couch surf. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to trust the universe. That was Friday afternoon. Saturday night, I was in bed, just briefly scrolling through Facebook, and I came across this post that this lady needed someone to help her daughter with her kids. So sent an email, and yeah, that's where I'm moving. I'm moving to go help this lady with her kids. So,
and it's on the island.
It's on the island.
And you have a place to stay.
I have a place to stay. The position is, rent free with a salary, and it's just. So yes, I moved forward, and the universe showed up for me. So.
I just love this story. I love this story so much, and I feel like it's so powerful because it's just the sureness of you. I feel like is so powerful in your energy. You're just like, no, I trust and I know, and it comes back to that hand cut. Even like you trust and you know, you don't second guess, and so you just take the action. What do you do if your hand has a cut? Maybe put a Band-Aid on it. Maybe put some polysporin, or maybe you do nothing because you just trust your body's got this, and you just move along in your life, and you don't think about it again because you know it's going to heal. You know it's going to work out with you. You're like, I feel it. I'm done. I'm going to the island. It's happening. I don't know how or when, but I know that I'm done here. And so powerful, so amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, I have this trust in the universe that the universe has my back. So it's, and again, like I said before I started to tell the story, I don't do this all the time. There are times that I'm like, but I like, why am I even doubting? Like, seriously, I have so many of those little moments in my life that I'm like, no, just go for it. And that's why I did that a month ago, because I'm like, nah, the universe got my back.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah. I love that. I feel like the universe favors us when we're so bold, when we're just like, go on, it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love your story too. Love what you do. It's just amazing. Like it so resonates with me, like everything you're doing and everything you're saying. And I just love that you have such wisdom at a younger age. I wish I had your wisdom when I was, your age, but it's all good. We learn.
I was just gonna say, I feel like you had it and you were embodying it in your own way. You just weren't out here like preaching it to the choirs yet.
Yeah, true. It like what we do now, the work that we do now was not as popular, or was not something that people thought about, sharing so much with others. So yes. And I don't think the world was ready for that either at that point. I think that people are more ready now to hear that message than they were.
I agree. And I wonder why that is. I mean, it's like you could just say like mass consciousness is just rising. And so now collectively we are able to hold more. But I agree. Like calling myself a witch, that feels, I do know there probably are still people that would be like, oh my gosh, like that is nope. What does she eat my babies? Like, I don't know.
I've called myself a witch for since I was a teenager, actually, to be quite honest. I've known a long time that I was quote unquote different than other people. So yeah, I've referred to myself like I have my little broom, and yeah.
I love that.
I love being a witch.
Yeah. And I think like a witch is such a powerful energy. And I've been reflecting on it a little bit more. Like witch at the end of the day, like they were women that were connected to their intuition, connected to the earth. They were smart. Like, why did they have brooms? They had brooms because they were sweeping they were having their houses clean, and they were looking to keep it clean, so they kept the mice away. Why did they have cats? To keep the mice away, so that they weren't pooping in their food and like making them sick. Like, why were people sick? Because they probably weren't taking very good care of their homes. And then because they were having so much better success because of that, it was like all of a sudden they were looked at like, well, if she's having that much success and I'm not, she must be like, there's something sinister happening, because someone can't have that much success. But in reality, like, witches are, they're just like, I hope this is okay to say it, they're just smart bitches. Like,
yeah, I'll say.
Because I feel like the more that I own the witch energy, the more I'm like, like, I feel like everyone, if you, at least the way I look at it, would lovingly take on that persona of like witch energy. Because yes, like, I think about you, like how bold, like I get tingles when I think about your move of just being like, no, I do not agree with you, doctor. Like, who does that? And like, most people are like, oh my gosh, I got this diagnosis and this is now my life. And instead, you were a smart bitch and you're like, no, I'm sorry, doctor. This doesn't feel good. So I don't think it's right. I don't think that's the answer. And I'm going to get curious, and I'm going to explore, and I'm going to live a very different life than you have just predicted for me.
Yeah. Well, as I've said many times, maybe not so much on the podcast, but people look at me and they see, and I am an introvert, and I am usually very quiet, and people kind of see me as being snob and kind of, but I'm really a rebel at heart, and I'm just like, I am a witch, and I can be a bitch as well. So it's, and not in a bad way, but like get out of my way. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing, and just like I and the other thing, going back to the witch, like the witches, or what people refer to, the women that were referred to as witches, a lot of times they were herbalists. They knew more about like the how the plants work and what they did, and they help people heal, and that's and that's, I mean, I have so many herbs and so many things that I love, my teas, and I mean, I love comfrey and all these nettle, stinging nettles, and just like, so I'm definitely a witch.
Yes.
And a rebel.
Yes. And that's what makes you so magical. And I'm just, really grateful that, you're living proof of the magic of this universe and what's possible. So,
well, the beauty of this is that we all have, I believe anyway, that we all have that in us. Every single person has that energy, has that capability. It's just a matter of remembering it and bring it forth.
Yes. So. Ooh, I love that. I feel like we should end on that.
Remember,
bring it forth.
Well, I will leave the last words to you, though. What would your last words of wisdom be?
My words of wisdom. Yeah, mine it's very similar. It would just be trust in your heart. Like, there is a reason why you desire the things you desire. And there's a reason why you feel pulled to do the things you do. And it's not like ignore your mind, but there's this balance that I don't think a lot of us have of our heart and our minds. A lot of the time the mind is running the show. So like, listen to your heart, and what will feel like an extremely like far swing, the pendulum the other direction, is going to just help you come back to that center where you can like create the structure with the mind, but also follow the intuitive, deep desires of the heart.
I cannot agree more with you. Thank you for your words of wisdom.
Yeah. And if anyone is curious to like play with me, play in my energy, I do have a free clarity session. If you head to my website, theintuitivewitch.ca, it's 20 minutes, and I get to feel into your energy and just see whatever guidance or whatever, anything your body, because it's built on my body talk practice, but whatever your body, whatever your intuition, whatever wants to flow through, I share, and it's just a gift. And if you love it, then obviously I'd like continue to work with you more, but it's just meant to be an opportunity to, yeah, maybe spark that ignite that fire within you again, to like take those baby steps and follow your heart. And yeah, because I want this for everyone. Like I know like you said, everyone has it within them. So just sometimes you need permission. You need someone to hold up the mirror and be like, see, like this all lives in you.
Yeah. And I love what you do. So yes, absolutely. And yes, all your details and everything is going to be in the show notes. So thank you so much for taking the time and your patience with the dog and the
I love it. It was needed. And the dog, I feel like the dog was just like, yes. Loving what we're talking about.
Thank you so much. I'm losing my voice.
All right. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you, and everyone follow Deanne. She's the best.
Amber.
Thank you for spending time with us inside the Heartful Healing Hub. If this story moved you, please consider sharing this episode or leaving a comment. Your words help others find this sacred space. If you or someone you love has a healing journey to share, we'd love to hear from you. And finally, if you would enjoy a gentle way to unwind after listening, visit the show notes to download your free tea ritual guide, Sip and Soften, a soul-soothing gift to nourish your inner healer. Until next time, be kind to yourself and trust what has always been within you. And remember, you are whole, you are healing, you are home.